So today, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to attach your Sprinter roof rails to the roof of your van. You need this if you're going to attach any sort of roof rack or anything else. They're fantastic because you can attach all sorts of things to them. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm showing you how to do, or please give me a thumbs up just for effort, because this is the first time I've done everything here. Hey there, so today I have unboxed my Vantech roof rails for my Sprinter van. This company, Vantech, they're an aftermarket roof rail. This is what came out of the pack for my 144 Sprinter. I'm just going to open it up. Hi, I'm Candace. I'm a lover of mountains and meditation and have decided to minimize my life, buy a Sprinter van and convert it into a tiny home on wheels. Having a background in interior design, I'm going to give you my tips, views and experience on design and how to project manage your conversion whilst being a total novice at doing the actual build. Okay, so there we have it. We have two sets of roof rails, as in they come in two pieces for each length on each side of the van. We've got a gasket to go underneath both of them. We've got mounting hardware and connection hardware in here. And yeah, and then I'm going to show you my tools for today's project. Okay, so as I always suggest, that you line up the tools that you think you're going to need and extras before you start any of the projects. And the project today is mounting the roof rails in the slots on my roof. Okay, so what I'm going to need is, many people get an actual heat gun, and this is a 1900 watt hairdryer. I think it's going to do the trick. So hairdryer or heat gun. And then we're going to need, you've got gasket here, but I'm also going to suggest you have some butyl tape. Then what I have is a screwdriver head that I've actually put some tape over the top of, and I'll show you why when we get on the roof, because I don't want to scratch the paint. Box cutters, gloves, pliers, needle nose pliers I think are going to be a good idea. Some blunt nose pliers are a good idea. Then we're going to need, this is some of my extras, then we're going to need either an adjustable spanner or a socket wrench, and when I look at the gear in here, it's going to be a smaller one. I'm going to need a little socket connection for that. And I might want to put silicone underneath after it's all done, but I'm going to work that out when I get there. And then Goo Gone. This is cool stuff just to get rid of any gooey stuff, and when I look at it, it looks like orange oil, and so I'm going to smell it because I think that's all it is. It smells like orange. I think it's orange oil. Anyway, Goo Gun. So that's the tools for today's project. I'll see you on top of the van. So this here is my work site today. I put a big piece of cardboard on top of my roof to protect it. And the tools I need for the first stage of this project, which is getting these little puppies out. They come with the van to obviously water seal the van. They're pre-drilled holes with lugs in them, and they are all the way along this groove. And that groove has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 of these I'm going to have to remove, and into that groove is where I'm going to put the roof rails. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm going to heat this up a little bit to make it easier to get at. Hence the trusty, dusty hairdryer. Here goes. It takes a little bit for the hairdryer to warm up. As you can see, then it's softened. And I'm working on getting this up at this point. As I said, I put tape over this so I'm not scratching my roof. And that's working around the edge. And then I've got various pliers here to pick it up. And look, if it doesn't come off or out easily, you can always take the top off and then push the bottom through. That's perfectly kosher. That seems to be happening in this instance. Let's go that method, the push it through method. I'm going to clean it up as I go. And that, I'm pushing through. And then you're going to clean up these edges. And I'm probably going to come back and put Rust-Oleum on that later. There we go, there's the first one. 1 down, 7 to go. Super easy. Okay, so what I decided to do was to go and get the rails and make sure that they fit. These rails come in such a way that there's 2 pieces, and despite the directions, I actually put it in the wrong way round. So I'm going to spin this around so they look right. The A rail, they mark them A and, oh no, or I've got it backwards. Something's not right. Something's not right. So these particular rails have 2 extra spots that you can drill, and I'm actually going to drill those because I want them to be super secure. This is partly why I want to check this and map it out. So what I'm going to do, brought my Sharpie, and I'll show you over here. So got all these lined up. Okay, so I've got them in the right way now, and I've marked the extra connection points, which I'll do later. I get this in place. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to Rust-Oleum all of these before I move the lugs out from underneath. Get rid of this. So the next thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to spray Rust-Oleum on these before I proceed. This is high performance enamel. This is the 15-minute set stuff. I'll put in the blocks, the description box below. And good shake. So with the Vantech roof rails, you have they actually provide the drill hole already for an additional securing point, and I've decided to drill that out. On each side and each end of the rail. So how I'm doing that is which is I just grabbed one of these and I'm just creating a little hammer hole right in the center. I can drill. It's my center point. Okay, and I'm taking the rail off, and then I'm drilling it. Sharpie it, and then drill it. That's the center. 3/8 inch drill bit. That's it. Paintbrush to get the metal filings off the roof. back in, check the hole. Yep. And then a Rust-Oleum. Favorite Rust-Oleum. There we go. It's one side. So here we're going to do the same thing. I've got the other end of the bar at the back of the van. I've slotted it in. I'm looking in all the holes to make sure it's lined up with the holes. And then I'm going to drill out this last one here. Hey, so just looking at the underside of the van at this point. So that's one of the holes I drilled. This is one of the grommets that I pushed through. I'm just getting rid of the last ones after they've been Rust-Oleumed on the top. That one's good. That was an easy way to do it. All the way through. And there's the last extra hole that I drilled. So both sides are all open and ready to mount the rails. So whilst I'm waiting for the Rust-Oleum to dry, and by the way, I learned from my first project, I'm reading the instructions this time. Ha! Go figure. Even though it wasn't that clear on this side, yeah, most of it's pretty good. So there's this little roll of gasket here that I'm going to place on each rail, and then I'm going to join them together, and then I'm going to place the screws in place so that I can just pop it in and then attach it from inside and upwards. Here goes. So now I'm going to drill these screws into the frame, so like pre-drill them so that when they're done we can just drop them straight into the holes in the roof. Here goes. One thing to look for is just bring it up in front of your eyes and make sure they're all fairly perpendicular to the bottom here. You want them to be able to just drop in perpendicular on top of your roof. And there we have it. Hey, so I'm back on the roof and I've just popped one of the rails in to make sure everything fits. But what I want to do is one last thing before I actually fix them. And that is actually put a little patch of butyl tape over these. Butyl tape is a, waterproofing product. Comes in rolls like this. You're going to see me use it for all sorts of things. Yeah, looks like that. I'm just going to cut a little 1-inch square for each of these holes. Same thing on this side. I just checked that they all fit and lined up. They do. And now I'm just going to put little pieces of butyl tape over my holes. Now the thing that's a little bit different this time is I need to fit the into this bracket. So I'm going to try to do that first. I can get that slipped in. Wasn't so easy. There we go. There we go. And that should be totally lined up now with all the holes. And it is slipping in perfectly. Look at that. So I've been a good girl today, following the instructions. Especially at the end here where you've got Before, you've got a washer, you've got a nut, and you've got two of those little ones that make sure things don't fall out of place. I don't know what they're called, but they're awesome. So it goes washer, security thing, nut. Here I go. All in place. That's the extra one. They're all up tight. I'm just deciding whether to put silicone on there too. I'm not sure yet. This little one I need to retighten. And then I'll show you on top of the roof. There we have it. All the way to the front. All the way through. All the way to the back, and we're done for the day. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I followed the instructions this time. I do what I always do, which is watch 2, 3 or so YouTube videos on whichever project I'm doing. And I also read the instructions from the manufacturer, go figure. And that worked really well today. But the other thing I learnt today is I learnt to also trust my intuition. So with these Vantech rails, you can add 2 extra securing points at each end of the rails, which I decided to do, which slowed down the project a bit because I had to drill 2 holes in the roof. I had to Rust-Oleum them, and I had to make sure that they were in the right place, of course. So that slowed it a bit down, but I can see, we'll find out in the future if my intuition was right there. What else did I learn? Be really careful with ladders. I have fallen off a ladder once before inside when I was painting, and it left me with a not fractured wrist, but a sprained wrist. I had to go to hospital. And when you're pushing against something, the ladder wants to fall over. So be really, really super careful. I had my ladder sideways to the van today. It might have been safer to have something leaning up against the van. And of course, when you're getting on and off the roof to do any roof mounting, be super careful, especially at the very top, because it wants to tip over at the top. That might be, there's a lot of just no-brainer stuff when you're building things, right? Just be super practical. What else I learned today is whatever I estimate the project in time to take usually is double the amount of time. That's probably because it's the first time for me ever having done this. I suspect that in the future I'll do it faster, but I am making sure that I'm doing things very carefully. This is my house I'm building. This is where I'm going to be living, so I want to put love in the way that I'm doing it while I'm doing it. So if I need to take a break, I take a break. This project had 2 stages to it. It had the preparation, getting the lugs out stage, and then it had the preparation for putting the rails in stage. So I always break projects down into its components. So that's something I learned. I think I did it pretty well today. Pretty happy with my progress. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I hope this is helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Bye for now.